Well, admittedly, I did not have this on my bingo card this morning. In our breaking story today, J.D. Vance is getting hit where it hurts him the most. As the, doughy vice president, with an eye on the big, beautiful ballroom in 2028, he tries to be all things to all people. Well, in our unbelievable story today, he may well be losing a loony but significant part of the MAGA base. Now, that would be the guys we like to call the far right Gen Zers out there hovering in the manosphere. Welcome to Occupy Democrats, everyone, and please hit the subscribe button if you agree that the world just gets more and more absurd each and every day.
Honestly, my biggest fear is that if something happens to me, I'm not sure how my wife is going to manage. She's pretty helpless.
America's Widow, Erica Keir, KK.
Okay, the war of words between far-right podcaster and man about town, Nick Fuentes, and VP JD took a bizarre turn recently that involves, now wait for it, hang on, this dashing fellow, believe it or not. Now, before we show you the latest volleys over Vance's bow by the Royal Groiper Online Navy, let's first catch up on the very personal attacks that have been going on between Vance and Fuentes, by turning most appropriately to the Times of India.
Vice President J.D. Vance is breaking his silence as attacks against his wife, Usha Vance. In a blunt, profanity-laced message during an interview with Unheard, Vance declared that anyone who disparages his wife can eat, calling it his official policy as the nation's second highest executive. Vance's comments came as he defended Usha against critics from across the political spectrum, from controversial podcaster Nick Fuentes to former Biden press secretary Jen Psaki, both of whom have been publicly critical or mocking of her. This sharp rebuke was not just personal. Vance used it to strike back at what he calls racist and ethnically charged attacks, saying there is no place in politics for bigotry or personal attacks on family members. While he denounced those comments, Vance also dismissed the influence of extremist figures within conservative circles, saying their reach is often overstated and detracts from broader policy debates. The message comes amid broader tensions within the Republican movement over ideological divides, particularly around issues like U.S. foreign policy, social values, and the rise of fringe voices.
I know some of you are discouraged by the infighting over any number of issues. Don't be discouraged. Wouldn't you rather lead a movement of free thinkers who sometimes disagree than a bunch of drones who take their orders from George Soros?
For now, the vice president has made his stance unmistakably clear. Personal attacks on his wife cross a line, and Washington should take notice.
If you call Usha Vance, the Second Lady of the United States of America, a Jeet, you have no place in the future of the conservative movement. And if you can't say those things without stuttering, then you have no place as a leader at any level in the conservative movement either. Certainly not in my state of Ohio. Now, does this mean those who have espoused these views or even said these things are bad people? Right? Because it's easy to come here and denounce the woke left. That part's super easy. Coming up here and denouncing a bunch of groypers, in the conservative movement, a little bit harder, but in the scheme of things, I could care less. Pretty easy for me. The hard part is asking the question of where we go from here.
Where do they go from there? Well, that brings us to today's top story. Now, you're just not going to believe who stands to benefit from all of this Dharma drama. It's our featured story today, and it has actually improved my vocabulary, as it may well yours. Up until this morning, I had no real idea what physiognomy was.
Physiognomy is the art of understanding other people based on their facial features.
Okay, but you know who does know what that is? Nick Fuentes. And as Yahoo News recently reported, white supremacist and MAGA influencer Nick Fuentes went all in over the weekend on supporting California Governor Gavin Newsom over Vice President J.D. Vance because Newsom is more handsome. Fuentes, who has regularly attacked Vance in the past, calling him childish names like gay and fat, posted to social media on Sunday, Physiognomy is real. Post-physique. It's Handsome Thursday. I only believe in beauty and aesthetics. J.D. Vance equals fat subhuman. Newsom mogs him to death. I would vote for him 100 times over just because he's handsome. No, not like that. You have to vote for the Republican? I don't even know what that means. Meta AI defines mogs as internet slang for outshining or dominating someone. In recent weeks, Vance, well, he's been accused of courting Fuentes and his so-called Groyper army by arguing in his recent Turning Point USA speech that there should be no purity test for MAGA. Vance made that speech in the context of Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson offering dueling speeches over the inclusion of anti-Semites and open hate speech within the MAGA tent. There's room for everyone. ¿Quién es más macho? Well, we know what Nick Fuentes thinks, so now apparently courting the far right takes on a whole new meaning. But I think in this emerging cesspool of vitriol and hate, that's not going to bait Newsom. He's much too smart for that, and of course, much too handsome.